Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Michelle Moten with Urban Solace Yoga and Wellness, and we are very excited to bring you a month of fun and fitness right to your home, thanks to our partnership with the Detroit Riverfront Conservancy. Now, today's Silver Serenity Seated Fitness Program will feature body weight and flexibility exercises for both the upper and lower extremities. And the best part, no special equipment is needed, just you and your chair. But be sure to select a sturdy seat, one with 4 legs that can support basic active movement. And your chairs should not have free moving wheels to prevent unwanted rocking or rolling during the session. Now, it's important to note that exercise is definitely essential for our well-being, but it doesn't always have to be vigorous. According to the American Heart Association, healthy older adults can benefit from participating in 30 minutes of moderate physical activity as tolerated, at least 2 to 4 days per week, like walking, aqua aerobics, or a seated class like this one. Establishing a regular fitness routine is not only important for our metabolism, muscles, joints, and heart, it can also help improve our quality of life as we age. The key is to find activities that you like, because if they are both effective and enjoyable, you're more apt to stick with it. So this weekly series will cover basic seated exercises that are considered functional movements, meaning they mimic activities of daily living. Over time, these activities can also help improve circulation in the upper and lower extremities, general coordination, and increase the range of motion of joints and the muscles supporting them. I will offer modifications throughout the session, but with any physical activity, please listen to your body, especially if you've had previous injuries, surgeries, range of motion concerns, or if there are any underlying health conditions present. And remember, always consult with your healthcare provider to ensure that your chosen physical activity is indeed safe and appropriate for you. At this point, we simply ask that you grab a seat, do what you can, and have fun while you're here. So let's get started. We're going to begin today in a comfortable seat. Since we will be doing a lot of activities that require core stabilization, I want you to make sure that your weight is evenly distributed from front to back. So a good test is to make sure that your seat doesn't rock forward or rock back based on where your bum is placed. Making sure that your feet are flat, knees comfortably stacked over the ankles. And we will always begin with a warm-up. So let's first kind of scan the body, taking note of what you feel and how you feel today. And we're going to begin to correct the posture. So sitting nice and tall, allowing the shoulders to drop down and back, and feeling your core muscles also engaged from front to back, even drawing your navel in toward the spine. From here, I want you to begin to relax the area in the face surrounding the eyes and the brow, making sure that your jaw and the cheeks are also soft. And we're going to start to lengthen the neck here. So begin to slowly lower your chin toward the chest. And this is an opportunity to just assess any stress or tension that may be harbored there. And with your chin tucked in, slowly begin to rotate the chin, almost as if you were drawing upside down rainbows on your shirt with your chin. So just kind of sweeping from shoulder to shoulder. Good. And we're going to slowly bring the head back to neutral, leveling your chin parallel to the earth. And from here, we're going to lower the right ear toward the right shoulder. And since I'll be facing you today, I'm going to mimic your movements like a mirror. So nice and easy, noticing what you feel as the ear moves in that direction. Sometimes when we're really tight in the traps, that opposite shoulder will want to lift in response, but I want you to try to keep it down and back. Good. And slowly return to center, and we're just going to do the opposite side. Again, nice and easy, and you listen to what's comfortable for you in your range of motion in the cervical spine. You never want to force anything, even a stretch. Good. And slowly bring your head back to center. And now we're going to pivot the head kind of on its axis. So we're going to rotate the head once again to the right, but keeping the chin parallel to the earth. And again, you choose the range of motion that's comfortable for you. All the while still maintaining good posture. Good, head back to center, and let's switch directions. Nice, and slowly come back to center. Now let's start to awaken those shoulders. So gently begin to roll the shoulders toward the back. Good, and gently lower the chin toward the chest again so that we can roll the shoulders forward. And now set the shoulders down and back. We're going to travel in toward now the hands and the wrists. So begin to slowly rotate your wrists. Maybe even wiggle the fingers, giving your hands a nice squeeze. And also flex and extend the wrists, kind of softening the forearms. Those are where all of the muscles that innervate your fingers live. Nice, and gently allow the hands to come to rest. And now we're going to direct our attention down to our feet. So we're going to start by gently lifting the heels. Feeling a little stretch, both in the front and the back, the shins and the calves. And now we're going to make it dynamic, so gently lower and lift. Slow and steady. Now we're going to get a little fancy with it. So give me a little rotation. And then switch directions. And you can certainly do one at a time if you prefer. Good. Now go ahead and allow the heels to gently rest. And now we're going to step just the left foot forward and we're going to do a toe tap. So from here, just like you were tapping on the accelerator, very lightly of course, and getting good flexion and extension in the ankle. This is a good way to stimulate circulation in the lower extremities. Good, and step back, and we're just going to switch sides. Again, lifting the toes and gently tap. So as you can see, we've taken our fitness program outdoors today, and with the nice weather, everyone is out. We have roofers in the neighborhood, we have dogs that are being walked by their owners, and lots of kids playing in the street, so you never know what you may hear. Go ahead and step back. Now we're going to get fancy with this, and we're going to alternate. So just taking your time, doesn't matter how fast. Give me 2 more on each side. Good, and slowly release. Now, let's get started with our dynamic warm-up. Total body. We're going to start with what's called a lateral sway. So we're going to lead with the right shoulder and take your time, followed by the head. And I want you to keep both sit bones firmly rooted and try not to lean on the armrests if you have them like I do today. We're going to lead with the shoulder, followed by the head. And then start to send now the rib cage to the side. And this is where it's important to understand certainly your balance in your chair so that your chair is stable enough as you start to shift your weight from side to side. You don't want your chair to rock or tip over. And as you start to feel the muscles supporting the rib cage and the spine begin to warm up, then you can kind of increase that sway. Kind of think about palm fronds blowing in the breeze, or those flowers that are starting to sprout outside. Good. And now just like a tuning fork, we're going to start to bring our focus back to center. Nice and easy. Good. Sitting up tall, Now we're going to warm up the upper extremities. So taking the arms, we're going to cross them in front of the body. And I want you to kind of imagine that you're stirring water. Think about wading out into a beautiful crystal blue lake. And your hands are lightly placed just on the surface of the water. And as you start to stir the water, I want you to switch which hand is on top. So we're crossing the arms in front of the body, leading the elbows back, and then opening out again to switch which hand is on top. So this is working the deltoids, the rear delts, a little bit into the traps as well as those rhomboids, the muscles in the middle of the back that run along the length of the spine. Give me 2 more. And again, it's not about speed. I want you to feel the muscles that you are energizing right now. Good. Now let's come back to center. Now we're going to awaken the lower extremities. And this is going to be a fun one, something that you can do in lieu of gym equipment. Many people do hamstring strengthening exercises, either with ankle weights or in machines where they're pushing the weight back to activate those muscles. You could do the same thing by extending one leg. We're going to start with the left, and all we're going to do is slide the heel back. Now, if you have on gym shoes and maybe you have thicker carpet, you can always put, I know it sounds funny, a paper plate or even a piece of paper or a towel under your heel so that it slides a little easier. You can also increase the intensity by simply grazing the heel across the surface of the floor. If you're on hardwood floor or tile, having socks on will make this definitely a lot easier. So we're going to slide the heel back until your foot is flat, and then we're going to step the heel back out just to do it again. So you should feel those muscles kind of zipping right behind the knee all the way into the midpoint of the hamstrings. Those are the muscles in the back of the thigh. Give me 2 more. Still sitting nice and tall. Good. Now let's switch sides. Extend out, placing the heel, and very gently sliding back to activate the hamstring. Just taking your time. Again, if you are using a towel or a paper plate, maybe even increase the intensity by actually sliding the heel back and forth versus picking the leg up. So there are many options that you can explore as you start to build strength in that area. Good. Give me 3 more on this side. And slowly return to start. Good. Well, we know a lot of things have been put on hold, and one is the Cherry Festival in Traverse City. But I used to work a lot with post-rehab clients and older adults, and this is one of my favorite activities that would strengthen the core, and we actually call it cherry picking. It's a way to, again, activate the muscles from the base of the rib cage to the top of the hip with a reach out in front and then to the side. So kind of imagine a tree that's pretty high up and then your bucket where you're collecting the fruit. So we're going to start with that left hand, and I want you to reach. We're not twisting completely to the side. This is just a lateral reach. Imagine you're grabbing the brightest, most beautiful and sweet cherry and you're dropping it in your bucket. So nice length and extension. But again, listen to your body. Maybe your reach is here, or it could be low-hanging fruit, whatever is comfortable for you. And to protect the neck, allow your head to follow, kind of tracking your hand movement. Let's do 3 more on this side. as you complete that last side, go ahead and allow that hand to come back to the thigh, and we're just going to switch side. So be nice and tall. We're going to reach, allow the head and the eyes to track, and gently place it in your bucket. Reach, good extension, and place. Slow and steady. Now one side may feel a little different than the other. My left shoulder can be a little tight and temperamental sometimes from previous injuries, so I acknowledge that and I make adjustments accordingly. Feeling those sit bones firmly rooted in your seat. And as you lift and reach, again, notice what you feel in the back muscles. And it should always be comfortable. If something doesn't feel right for you, don't do it. Give me 2 more. And as you make your way to that final round, let's come back to center. Good. Now we're going to open up the arms, awakening those deltoids a little bit more. And we're kind of coming to what we call arm circles. Very familiar for many of you. If you remember gym class back in middle school, all we're going to do is start with small circles forward. If having your arms fully extended is not comfortable, you can always bend the elbows, and you can modify this way. So take your time. Again, sitting nice and tall, making sure your shoulders don't hunch toward the ears. We want to keep them down and back. And this is going to increase the fatigue in the arms, so take a break if you need to. Good. Feet are still flat, core is still engaged. Now let's switch the direction. So rolling back. Nice and easy. If at any point you feel you need to take a break, you can even sit back and let your back rest on the seat back of your chair. Good. Let's go ahead and release the arms. Place them on the thighs, and once again roll the shoulders back. Lower the chin toward the chest and roll the shoulders forward. And then set the shoulders down and back. We're going to do the same thing, but we're going to increase the radius of the circles. So extend out through the arms, and we're going to do large circles forward. And again, taking your time, modify if needed. It's almost like a bird taking flight. Nice. And now let's switch the direction. Just in time for that airplane that's flying up overhead. Beautiful. One more. And let's release the arms back to your lap. Rolling the shoulders back. And then lower the chin toward the chest so we can roll the shoulders forward. Set the shoulders down and back. Our next exercise is a favorite of mine. We're going to do what's called back squeezes or scapular retraction. Now, several months ago, I suffered a pretty severe shoulder injury, and I had to actually use this exercise to strengthen the rhomboids which run on either side of the spine. And I have to admit, my injury was a symptom of this: poor posture, sitting at a computer, working with electronic devices, and not keeping good posture in mind. So we're going to start by having 90-degree bend in the elbows. We're going to cross the hands, kind of making an X, And all you're going to do is pull the elbows back just until the elbows break through the line of your body, so that you can feel the shoulder blades squeezing gently together, almost as if you were attempting to pinch your shoulder blades against a magic marker. Crossing in the front and pulling back until you feel that gentle squeeze. And then just switch which hand is on top. So whatever is comfortable for you. If you need to lower the hands down, if your shoulders are becoming fatigued, you can do that as well. Having your hands flat, you can sort of open and close them for each repetition. Now this is dynamic. We're going to do a few holding it static. So coming forward, sitting nice and tall, I want you to pull back and actually hold it. Making sure that the shoulders stay down and back. You're giving me a little pinch, but without lifting the shoulders up toward the ears. Making sure that you're breathing. Nice. Go ahead and relax. Come forward. We're doing that again. Pulling back. Squeezing those shoulder blades. Sitting nice and tall. Good. Let's do two more. Relax. Coming forward. And pull back. Holding it. Nice deep breaths. Good. Last one. And pull back and hold. Fantastic. Go ahead and release the hands to the thighs, and let's roll the shoulders toward the back. They've worked pretty hard for us today. Lower the chin toward the chest and just switch the direction. Bringing the shoulders down and back. Now let's start to lengthen the body, stretching out all the muscles that we targeted today. So starting with the right hand, let's lift that arm up and over. Now if you have an arm rest, you can certainly rest your arm on it, but try to keep your sit bone still firmly rooted on the seat. And with that arm rest, you can gently push into it to help you deepen the stretch in that side. If you don't, you can place the hand on the seat. You can even choose which direction you'd like to rotate the head based on the comfort of the neck and shoulders. And remember, with stretches, you always want to hold it to the point of tension, never pain or discomfort. Two more deep breaths. Good, and slowly release. We're just going to switch sides. So again, if you have an arm rest, go ahead and use it. And we're going to reach up and over. But don't just rest on that side. I want you to push against the arm rest as you lengthen and reach, opening up everything from the base of the arm to the top of the waist. And notice what happens as you take those deep breaths. Good, and slowly come back to center. Now we're going to open the shoulders. So let's cross that right arm in front of the body, and we're just going to hook it with the left. So since we focused a lot today on the rear deltoids and even the rhomboids, we want to make sure that we stretch them out. And with exercise, especially those that include strengthening movements, you want to make sure that you are aware of what's called delayed onset of muscle soreness, which is just something for you to remember me by. Tomorrow you may be a little sore, and that's completely normal. That means that you targeted the muscles that we wanted you to. And stretching helps to dissipate that. So now if hooking the elbow is not comfortable, you can always just place your hand on the top of the tricep and pull in. But again, Make sure the shoulder is down and back as you do so. And your posture is still nice and tall. Good. Now staying with the same side, we're going to send that hand up and then bend the elbow as if you were patting yourselves on the back for a good job today. And we're going to approach either from the front at the elbow or across the top. And that's going to open up the tricep. Again, deep breaths as you hold the static stretch, making sure the neck is comfortable as well. Slowly release, and now we're going to switch sides. So crossing now the left arm in front of the body, and we're going to hook it with the right, making sure the shoulder is down and back. Again, you can simply hug the arm in with the hand, sitting nice and tall. And this is another good stretch to incorporate, especially if you are working at a computer on a daily basis. Slowly release. Send that same hand up and bend the elbow to pat yourselves on the back. We're going to approach from the front or across the top to open up the triceps. Breathing deeply. And maybe noticing anything different on this side compared to the first. Without judgment, just an observation. And slowly release. Last stretch we're going to do is going to open up those hamstrings that we worked today. So we're going to start by extending that right heel forward. Now again, we want to make sure that our weight is evenly distributed in the seat. You don't want to slide too far forward, so as you lean forward, your chair might tip forward. So all you're going to do is flex your foot. If you have a towel or a yoga strap, you can lasso the foot right across the ball of the foot and provide some back pressure, which will open up the calf as well. But sitting nice and tall, hands lightly resting on the thighs, we're just going to lean forward until you feel a light stretch in the hamstring. As you start to increase your flexibility over time, you can even work your way to reaching down toward the ankle for the stretch, or even for the toes to pull them back. Nice. Sitting tall. Last side, let's extend out. Again, make sure your weight is evenly distributed. Hands on the thighs, and gently begin to lean forward until you feel a light stretch. And we're only hinging from the hips. Try not to round the back. I want you to lead with your chest. And for those of you who are out walking or even exercising on your own, hamstring stretches are so important. This hamstring inflexibility is directly related to our low back health. Again, if you'd like, you can reach down for the ankle or for the toes to pull them back. Good. And sitting nice and tall. Fantastic. I hope you've enjoyed today's Silver Serenity practice. Again, a nice low and slow opportunity to incorporate just 30 minutes of physical activity into your day. In closing, I'd like to take this opportunity to sincerely thank you for joining us, and a special thanks to our dear friends at the Detroit Riverfront Conservancy for hosting us on their Facebook page. For more information about our wellness programs and services, please visit our Urban Solace Studio page right here on Facebook or at urbansolacestudio.com. And from our home to yours, stay safe and have a healthy day.